Hey, top of the morning to you people. I'm Michael. Grandkids call me Roo, and jumped on this Friday morning to just show you some new art supplies that I'm toying with today, and there's a reason for that. I will not be on tomorrow morning because we'll be boarding an airplane to fly down to Orlando to be with the Yasutomo folks. Well, 2 days ago, the knock on the door, poof, and I hear the box hit the porch because my office and studio is right above that porch. And the UPS guy always blows his horn. Hee, like, hey, that's for you. Get off your fanny and come downstairs. And so I meet the guy, go outside, but he had beat me with a box. He had already laid it there usually. And so he blew on his way down and said, hey, you fooled me today. And he had dropped off a box that said Yasutomo on it. Literally, it said Yasutomo right on a big label on the front. And I'm going like, yes. So here's what that meant. They sent me a box of new supplies. Phoebe did. And she said, hope you get time to use these before we see you in Orlando at the art exhibit where you'll be using these. And so I'm going like, okay. So guess what I'm doing today? I'm using them. So, hey. What am I going to do with all this extra time? So thanks for being on the show this morning. And, it's been an interesting thing since 2000 and March. Some of you, so here's why I'm sharing this, okay? Let me just tell you why this is important to me, to share this with you today. You have been my community. You have been, I got on this thing to figure out how to stream in March of 2020 and started just doing art and thinking, this is going to be fun. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have some fun with it. And then by the time that I finished that hour show, doggone if there wasn't a lot of people, and some of you the same people who have taken this journey with me. So I became somewhat of a community for you on that pandemic island. But more than that, people, hear me. You became a community for me. And I am grateful. And this music is a little sappy, so I'm going to change it. But I didn't mean for this to be so over dramatic. But I am impressed with your art. I am grateful for your friendship through the community online, and I'm blessed that you've shown up and listened to me just rattle on and on and on, and yet get to push you. Because let me tell you what happens. As I push you, and that's really one of my goals, to push people to say, get involved in art. You know what? I don't care if you're whittling, making wooden spoons. I don't care if you're making piccolos or playing the tuba. Get involved in something and start to build a community and share that with people. And that's really has been my goal and Carol's goal all along. Bob Ross said it really well in his own line where he said, this never really was about art. And you're thinking, oh no, what's he saying? I'm saying it's about people. And so thank you for being a part of this show. Because of that, I started pushing myself. I started using different tools and different skills because I wanted to get better at the craft that my wife said is the art in watercolor and medium. She's an oil painter. It was just too, I love it. I love it. In fact, she's been painting the last week and I'm watching her paint and I'm going like, I love that so much. But I can't go there because it's too much pushing around and I have to go, oh, I have to let that dry and I got to come back and finish tomorrow. I go, no. I want to finish this drawing now before I leave this desk. I don't want anything left standing. I want all the details that I want to put in. I want to sign it and I want to send it on. So you can't see that because I just did a little extra sketch on him down here and did some detail. But my point is this, you have been that community. You push me. And so I went after new products and lo and behold, I found some. And one of those happened to be a Japanese brush. Here they are right here. One of the, not the first ones, they're over there. But these are some that I picked up. And then, a picture came from one of you, I think. It was a picture like this. And it came to me in an email. And they said, is this your hand? Because we think you're holding one of our brushes. And I responded back and said, that's definitely my hand. And how do I know if it's your brush or not? And they said, well, is it marked Yasutomo? And I went, well, the logo's basically gone, but I got it in the light. And I walked around and I went, gosh, get my magnifiers out. And I looked at it and I went, it says YAS, Yasa, that's it. And so that's what connected me with Yasutomo. I had purchased that brush from Cheap Joe's Art Stuff because Cheap Joe's Art Stuff gets their Yasutomo bamboo brushes from Yasutomo. And so Torrance, California. So that connected me with Phoebe, that connected me with that company. And now I'm honored and privileged to go and be a part of this event. The event is called NAMTA. It's a creative ovation. It's such a strange word that I see it come out and I go, I don't even know how to say that. So the point is this, it's really think marketing spot for retailers like Blick will be there and Destiny brushes will be there or Dynasty brushes and Jerry's Artorama will be there. They buy from all these people, craft people who have companies that teach crafting and sell crafting and all those things. They'll be there. There's a whole series of crafting that goes on in this thing. It's 30 or 40,000 square feet. It's in the Convention Center in Orlando, and they've asked me to come to their booth and be their artist to show people. I'm going like, so they have more faith in me than I do. But let me tell you why I think they did that. It's not because I'm a great artist, sometimes not even a good artist. It's because I love to connect with people. And that's what your art should put you on a route and a journey to do. Some of you, and I say this, and I say it all the time, and I mean it. Look at Roo's crew. So many of you are better artists than I'll ever be. You are. You just are naturally gifted, and I have to work at it. I have to think, what am I going to do here, and how am I going to make this work? And you do it just naturally. You look at the human face, and you just draw it. I'm going like, never. Couldn't do it. Can't do it. Still probably won't be able to do it. But that's not what I'm called to do. I'm called to do these creative little whimsical pieces that connect with story. When I started playing the guitar, I thought it was all about the music. And I would work on my chords and I'd think, oh, this is good. What if I ever wrote a song? So I wrote a song and I thought, oh, so it's about the song. And I thought, no, wait a minute. It's not just about me singing any song about saw a cow down by the fence, hit my finger with a wrench, I have to sit on this bench. I'm playing this little song. Cute as it might have been when I was 10 years old. If it was then, I don't know. My mom kept telling me to go down to the end of the driveway and learn to play the banjo because I can't think anymore. But what I really realized that music was a connector to people. So there became a time in my early 20s, standing on the stage one night, playing a little concert thing, mostly songs that I'd written. And I realized my stories in between the songs got longer and longer and longer as I set up where the story came from and the history of how it came about and how I wandered through it. And then here's what happened. I just turned around and hung my guitar up on this wall. And I wound up telling stories for about an hour. And I went home exhilarated. Because remember, I tell you all the time, I didn't know I was a storyteller. I thought everybody grew up like I did. And no, my family sat around breaking beans and around the outside fire and around the honey house, and we told stories. That was what we did. I sent out an email or a text this morning to two of my friends that said, the fire is the table. And we've lost the tribal fire where people tell stories. The electric light bulb took us in the house, and then TV and radio came, and then iPhones, and then tablets, and now it's like everybody's like this, and there's no storytelling that goes on anymore. Now, look, I love technology. If it wasn't for technology, I couldn't be coming in your phone or your television or your tablet right now. But the fact that we suddenly got all of our life from that and didn't connect, we just heard news, and we went, oh, okay. Oh, okay. And we did that for such a season. Or people wrote TV shows with their scripts and their ideas, and they told us what was funny and what was not. And news people did that. So this has been a give and take, mostly give for me because it's a one-sided thing. But I hope that it has allowed you in your circle to have confidence and move forward. Now, with that speech done, let's take a few minutes this morning because I set aside some time today to practice with some of these Yasutomo supplies. And I just want to show you some of the things I'll be using at the show. I thought it would be of interest to you because I told you here and also in my classes on Patreon. And when I find a new product, I want to bring this one to everyone. I'm going to deep dive into some of my Patreon folks this week and explain a couple things. And also some of you will know that this is the week I start. It's going to be a short piece because I'll be painting in Orlando, but I'm still going to open up my Bible journey at journal and start with the first one of those and just tell you how the intro of that. So I'll be doing that on the Patreon class. Anyway, so I get this box. It's got new art stuff in it. And thank you that Laura Abbott, you're calling it for what it is, a disruption. And that's exactly what it is. What is my goal? It's right here on this piece of paper that I never keep far away from my desk. And it's Gordon McKenzie's quote. What I was made for is disruption of the routine. Not pointless disruption, but disruption with a purpose. Don't you just love that? That's really what I was sort of made for. I think God wired me for that, to storytell and disrupt. Thanks for being on the show. Donacelle Barton and Denise and Randall Taylor Craven and Chris Whitaker, Alice Durham, Jean Anthalzer, Miss Carla made it on time. Barbara Mayer, Michelle, thank you for being on. Valerie, Laura Abbott, Vern Skelly, Lisa Predecessor. Hey, what's a wheelbarrow? Is it in the mail? Hey. You're welcome. Thank you. Sue Kane, all the way from South Australia. Sue, that's really fun for you to show up. I love it. I love it when people show up from Tennessee next door, but it's really fun when you reach across the ocean too. That just is kind of it's one of those things. And from Greenville, South Carolina, maybe Bert goes down and walks on the bridge today. June Jones, thank you. Lucy Springs, good morning, Roodoodles. I love it. Jenna Scott, Debbie Bennett, Karen Bender, Karen Pulver, Julie Walden, Jessica Halleck, golly, Crystal McElhaney. There's a lot of art being made. Yeah, okay. Hey, here's the thing. Javine McCabe, thank you for being on the show. Betsy Soloblowski, Laurie Stanley, Handelmeyer Henderson. All right, here we go. I'm going to jump ahead and I'm going to start pulling out some of these. Kyle Dixon, good money from the Funny Farm. Hey, Kyle and I had a little conversation yesterday. It was fun. Enjoyed it. In fact, I sent him a follow-up note. Appreciate him hanging in here. Nancy, always. Paola, is it Paola Caderini from Italy? Paola, thank you for being on the show. What a blessing. Just another person that has reached across the ocean this morning. It'll be afternoon for those guys, huh? Pat, thanks for being on the show. All right, Carol Tard Mundy. Wow, Mickey Perkins. A lot of people jumping on today. I love it. Golly, Friday morning might be a good day. All right, here we go. Jessica Halleck, I said hello to you, but I'm saying hi again. All right, let me jump way ahead here. Judy Yell, thanks for being on the show. And Cheryl A. Wickman Hoffman from Garner, North Carolina. I don't even know where Garner is. Let me show you what I got in the box. Ready? Stop talking, mister, and get in the box. How about a little reveal music? Da-da-da-da. Hey, something that looks very familiar to us. A watercolor block by Niji. Remember, Niji makes the brushes, N-I-J-I. This is a watercolor block. It's 5x7. This one is cold press. It's 100% cotton, and it's 5x7. So they sent some of these to me. I spilled paint on that one just the day I opened it. Looks like a little old lady looking down into her soup. Oh my gosh. I have got to trace that out in a minute. So this is cold press paper, and I'll be using some of this at the show because I said to Phoebe, as folks in the booth and people go around, and I'm painting in the booth several times, 3 times, and then they're taking me over to what they call Demo Alley, and I get to do things there. My goal was to not just say, oh yeah, I can show you. My goal was just to say, wait a minute, come here. I want to show you something, because that's kind of why I was hired as a storyteller. or I was coached into going, I think. It's more like it. Anyway, so here's the thing. This is some paper. I said, this is new to Niji, so it's going to be coming out. I really have tried one little piece. That's what I spilled on this for. But I'm going to paint on something for you this morning just to let you see it. This is the first time in 10 years that I've sit down to do watercolor painting that I have not painted with my beloved friends, American Journey Paints. But I'm doing this in their show, and so their products are there. And and also American Cheap Joe's. I just got a note from Megan yesterday at Cheap Joe's, and she said, oh gosh, we're so excited that you're going to this event. Keep us posted, and we love you, that you love community, and so, but this is going to be fun. We love Yasutomo because they use their products. So this is going to be a fun thing that I think will go down and be a part of. So this is the cold press. I'm going to paint you something on this. This is the hot press. I said, I want something small. Do you have anything? And she said, Niji, N-I-J-I, has just come out with these small blocks. And I said, that's perfect, because we can paint something real fast, get people to do something to it, and then I'll just give it to them. And so I'm just going to be giving out blocks of these. I said, have 4 or 5 of these while you're there. So she sent me these as samples. I'm going to paint on that, but I'm going to show you some other paper. Look at these. She sent these to me, and I had to open them all up and unwrap the little blocks of paint. If I had a... Let me stop this music. If I had a description right now, I would say that they look like and remind me of Winsor Newton, maybe Cotton and Winsor Newton paints. They paint a little differently than that. I tried this one yesterday, but what I did was I opened them all up and I laid them out, and I looked at them, and they're hard to tell the colors because some of them show up dark. Like I thought it was brown and it was the most beautiful yellow I'd ever seen. And I thought this one was black and it was purple. So it's hard to see the pigment in them in these blocks and not on the tube. And there's no names, just numbers. So I don't have any idea what I'm painting with, which doesn't make any difference to me anyway. But I opened the trays. Here's a new little tray that's come. You can buy this tray in most places. And so they sent me these colors. Here they are unwrapped. Here's the way they were shipped to me right here. This has a little number. This is number 687. What the heck is 687? I don't know, but I unwrapped them all. I took my little pocket knife and I sat down and I did all this. And then I went through and I chose the colors that I thought would be the best palette for me to demonstrate in the show based on what I paint. A rooster, a shrimp. I'll probably do some honeybees. I'll probably do a dragonfly. I'll probably do a couple little birds. I'll do my quick paintings to say, look what you can do. And I'll do my rooster in ink. And so that's kind of what I'm going to work on today. They don't want me to say, oh, we brought you in, Roodoodles, because you're a great Japanese painter. No, that's not the point. There's people there in the booth with me who are probably the best Japanese calligraphy brush painters in the country. They love the fact that you and me and this community have started using these brushes for loose watercolors and other watercolor tools. And so that's the kind of the fun part of this. So they've asked me as a rooster painter to come in and do it. So I took those colors and I mixed them in this little pan. And I like this little pan. Okay, it's a little bigger, but for a show where I'm not just out at the coffee shop and I have to have my micro little pad of excuse me, my Altoid box, this is going to work really well. And so it's opened up. It's got a little mixing place. Got some mixing spots here. And here's the colors that I've picked out. And so there's what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 14 colors that I've got wedged in here. That's 14 colors. That's more colors than I ever use. Okay. So there they are. And I'm going to paint some on this and let you see how it works. And then I'm going to switch some papers on you. So hang with me for a little bit if you don't mind just sitting around for a demonstration. But that's not all. Wait, there's more. They sent me this. Some of you may have these. These are the Aquarella Watercolor by Niji. And here are the colors. Look, I haven't even unwrapped them yet. They're still in these little tubes. And these are the liquid or more gelatin type watercolors that get squeezed out into a palette also. And I'm going to be loving this, this, and this, and this blue, and this green. So these are going to be fun. I'm going to open those up in a little bit. But first, let's just do this here. Okay, here we go. So I'm working with this palette, and these are the colors that I chose in here. Karen was on the show the day I was on with her, and I said, Karen, pick me a bright red, pick me a bright yellow, pick me a beautiful couple greens, maybe a more of an orangey yellow, 2 or 3. I want something that looks like turquoise. I got to have my Terry Tardy turquoise in there somewhere. And so they sent me all these colors, and I've been piddling around with them. There's a card somewhere yesterday where I sat and just did a lot of marks of the little blocks so I can know what to place in here. And you can see where I've splattered it already. Anyway, so this is, I made a mess here, didn't I? Hang on, let me see if I can do this without ripping my water and my coffee cup over here. This is like ripping the tablecloth off of the restaurant without removing any of the dishes. Okay, there we go. That's better. I just like having a clean background beneath you. And look at that. I guess I better order some paper. I'm out. That's my last sheet right there. So when I come back from Orlando, I better be ready to go. So I'll get one of those ordered. Okay, so here we go. Boom. Let's just take a little bit of water, and I might wake these up a little bit. You know what? I don't think I'm going to. I think what I'm going to do is, okay, why are you rocking a little bit? Oh, I know why it's rocking, because it's on this little keyway right here. That's perfect. All right. So see, it's got a ring on the bottom. Let me show you here. See this right here? Can you see that little? No, here we go. Let me show it this way. There. There's a little ring on the bottom. What's that for? That's to put on my finger like this. See, got the little ring on my finger right there. See my finger in there? Chee-chee-chee-chee-chee. So if I'm out painting plein air, I got my palette right here. Is that cool? All right, I love it. All right, so, but I also have to lay it sometimes on something like a little paper towel block, and that helps steady it while the ring's underneath it. Okay, so here we go. Little tea, little paint. I'm going to start on cold pressed paper, and let's just start with a little bit of music here, just something that's kind of fun. Okay. Barbara Nichols said, "Oh no, you threw him away." Yeah, I was with the Sharpie on some bad paper. Okay, so 687, Michael Ashford says the new Terry Tardy turquoise. That's funny. I love it. Okay. Yeah, this pan is available that you can put your own colors in. But this is, remember, I am always putting liquid paint like these or like my American Journey paints into my own pans. I don't paint with what I'd call block colors that just come this way, okay? The only time I've done that is when I received one of these block colors from France, from Charvin. I knew I'd get there. Okay, here we go. So today, this is what I'm going to do. And by the way, they sent me a couple things. They sent me some more of these pens. They said, I want to use your pens. And they sent me a new pencil. Look at this. It's an artist pencil. It's a 1.3 millimeter. And it's really kind of cool feeling pencil. I don't sketch with a pencil much, but this will be kind of a fun one to sketch with. Ooh, nice, big, bold line. I'm just going to leave the pencil lines on here. So put his foot over here like this, like he's walking off to, I like that, Roo. Come in like here. All right, it's just, you can see that little Roo right there. Let me put my coffee cup over here before I dip my brush in it 5 times. So just working on some new colors today. Hey, this is brand new for me, all right? I've done one little sample. It was about this big, and I just wet them to see what color they were basically. But here we go. Got myself a little paper towel there. Put this on. I come in. I know I want some red, so let's just reach and get it. These are still dry, so I'm just rolling my brush in the red to see what I'm going to get. A little more water on that brush, and let's see how they wake up as I go. Here's the red coming in. That's kind of nice. Ooh, I like it on this paper already. It's kind of good. Missing a little bit of that. I want to put some orange in that and just see what it looks like. I like it with a little orange attached. So see, I'm learning what I like already. This is what you do. Nobody's going to make the color that's perfect just for you. So that's where you dibble around a little bit. I would just as soon, other than a little mixture here, where you can tell what I was doing. I was trying to paint a rooster foot. I mix my own. I just like to see it mix on the paper. Okay? So I want to put some yellow in here and take a look. You see my brightest yellow? Anybody see my brightest yellow? If you had to guess, you would think, well, is it that one? I don't think so. Is it that one? Heck no. Is it? But guess what? It is this one right here. Look. This is my brightest yellow. What? Yeah, see, you never know how much pigment is sort of piled in there until you see it. So this has got a little bit of a yellow-orange tint. I want to show you this other one that comes out here. Look at that. It's a beautiful little, got a little more of a sun yellow in it, but it's really pretty awesome. All right, so at that point in time, I want to go into what I would call, and I'm using the names of colors that I would know. I'd call it a French blue, and I know that this is more of a cobalt, so I'm going to go in here for this French and kind of wet my brush, roll it around. Remember, these are brand new paints that have not been awakened yet to me or my style, so I'm just waiting to see how these things turn out. I can see already that I used a pencil, which I normally don't do. Had I used one of my regular pens, I would have had that line right here bleeding in already. And so that's something that I'll say at the show. I'm not going to go back and erase, but what if I came in and took this extreme gel pen and then brought it in, oh my heavens, on the wet ink. And so that's something that I'll do. So people go, like you did 2 years ago, I never thought of putting my ink in on top of the wet paint. What happens? Well, it melts the ink, it rolls in, it becomes the other color that you weren't expecting. And so that's kind of how you get into that stuff sometimes. Let's see if I can find, what's this color right here? I need a little pad. Here's what I need. I need a piece of paper somewhere. I need a piece of paper. Here we go. There's a little piece right there. All right. Need a little piece of paper, and I need to go like this. I need to go, what color is that? Oh, that's some sweet green. I should have had a key. Remember, but I'm rushing today because we're online. I'm German, but I'm Russian. All right, here we go. Oh, that's it right there. Look at that. There it is. Boom. Okay, if I wanted a little more blue to that, I could probably put this in here and turn it into some really sweet turquoise. Look at that. Okay, that's a pretty cool color. That's the second one in. Well, I'm on a roll now. I might as well go see what the third color is. It's almost a amethyst, a purple. What's this one right here? This looks like it's going to be a rouge of some sort. Yeah, that'd be good. What's this? Oh, that's a deeper purple. So what I might do is I might take this one out and replace it with another color. So I'm going to go third in, make myself a note here. Third bottom goes. Okay, that's the out. I'm going to throw that one out, and I'll keep this one. All right, I like that. What's this? Oh, that's a sweet dirt brown there. I like that. What's this? I hope it's a Payne's gray or a black. I'm loving it. This is yellow, orange, red, yellow. I know that. This is a soft blue. This is and remember, I mixed these. I didn't mix them. Oh, there's a nice green. So I've got plenty of greens. In fact, I could lose a green, turquoise. I could lose this green. I could lose this green maybe. Ooh, I don't know. That's a sweet green. What's this one here? Oh, they're the same green. So green on the bottom. First bottom goes. So see, now I'll go back in here and find a color, two colors that I like, and replace that of colors that I love and that are more familiar to me. Because why would I want to go there and say, oh, I don't ever paint with silver? I did when I was a kid, and I made model airplanes. But some of you have crafting stuff that you go and you do that with. So, all right, so now I'm going to go grab the second one in and put a little turquoise in there. Just a little green turquoise. Might add a little of this blue to it just to really get a turquoise kick. I like that in there. What I don't have is a gray. So what I'll have to do is find myself a very watered down black with a little bit of yellow in it, and just give myself a little bit of gray. Look at that. I did it right there. Okay. All right. So now I got to make some yellow for his legs. Man, that's pretty close anyway. So I might just bring that in here and paint it. So anyway, so that's my first rooster with Yasutomo paint on Yasutomo paper, or Nija, N-I-J-I. That's it, made by Yasutomo. It's the first time I've done that. Boom. I like it. What would I do to it? I darken this up probably a little bit more right here. Just bring in a little bit of black. I bring in some more blue, and I'm probably bringing too much water onto this paper. I'm learning about this paper. It's different than Kilimanjaro. So that's why I'm going to spend probably a couple hours today just working with the paper to get a feel for it. I'll do this little painting again, and I'll do it in with a pen first, and I'll see how the pen bleeds in from the beginning. And then I'll come back in and I'll enter my pen in from late like I am now and bring in some detail here. Put the nose in and draw this in. Maybe I'll come in with some of my little loose feathers that I throw in here. And I've got this rooster that it needs to be grounded. So I'm going to hatch mark this like this. Throw some ground on there. And then let's just grab a little bit of that green. This is the one I'm keeping. Ooh, see, that pen is bleeding nicely. And let's grab a little bit of the dirty brown, which is here maybe. Oh, no, it's purple. Is it here? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Well, let this purple be the shadow. That's good. All right. So let's see how it splatters. We'll just grab it here. And, oh, look, I'm going to be all over this. So there we go. Boom. There's a little rooster right there. That's number one going out. All right. So you're sticking with me? That's what I'm doing. I'm using if you just joined me, here's the thing. If you just dropped in, I'm using Yasutomo supplies that I'm getting ready to go do in a Yasutomo art show. I don't know how many thousands of people will be there. There are 400 or 500 different booths set up in this 30,000 square foot place for people mill around and they look at brushes and paints and crafts. And I mean, there's everything from glue crafts to origami crafts to paper crafts. And then there's all this painting section. So somewhere in there, I'm lost in the woods. And then they have this one place that's set up where 10 artists go in at a time, and they call it Demo Alley. And I think Monday I'm in Demo Alley for like 3 hours. And so that's where we'll kind of go in and I'll get to answer questions. And all right, this is hot press. Okay, so here we go. All right. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Let me get a little more music here, and I think now you know what I'm doing. This is hot press. I think that's just a cover sheet. I can get rid of that. It's cool feeling paper though. All right, let's try a rooster here done in pen first on the hot press. And this pen may not bleed as much on the hot press. Let's put him this way. Let's draw him back this way. Just a little one here because I want to move pretty quickly with this. This is kind of the if you ever buy a book called Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow from me, you get an autographed rooster in the front like this, just a little rooster. Sometimes he's looking the other way, sometimes back, but anyway, there he is right there. And it has Roo here like this. And okay. So let's try this one now and see what happens. See, it almost moved my brush right into that T again. All right, a little red. Let's go in with a little orange red this time. Pick it up over here and just pull a little orange in there. All right, boom, 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 boom. I like that. I like that red and orange mix. That'll give me a new little look. So sometimes I push myself by just using colors that I wouldn't normally use. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this green and black, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm really going to let this rooster, I'm going to put some water down here first, like this. And then I'm just going to go pretty heavy with the green. Then we'll go get some of this black, washing my brush out between each lift. And I'm not being too careful. You're going, yeah, no kidding. No, I mean, I just moved this brush around. It's lightweight. I get to flip it around a little bit. I like the music that's coming in, so I can hear that part go. A little orange in here on the bottom end of this rooster. And I do need to get some of this yellow right here and bring it in for the bill, and a little bit of this yellow for his backwash coming down. And then a little bit of this for the legs. Now I'm beginning to loosen up, and even in two roosters, I'm suddenly learning where my place is. And that's part of that practice that you need to do. Okay, especially if you're working wet with wet lines. All right, let's go with a little bit of this brown right here. Just box this in some. How about a little green on top of that? Loving it so far. And where's my Terry Tardy turquoise? I got to come up with a new name for that, but that's pretty cool. Got a little more green in it. I could drop some blue in there. Little wet brush right here and splatter this painting right there. Maybe one touch of this blue feather that just comes out there like that. And then come in. All right, so what was that, about 3 minutes? So at the show, I'll do several of these, and I'll get people to help me do those, and that'll be my that'll be my storytellers. Look at all the holidays that I left on purpose. Okay, I don't have any white paint anywhere around here. There's no white paint that comes with this kit. This one might have a white. Yes, it looks like it does. What do they call it? They call it blanc, which is French. I love it when the Japanese call their paints French. Okay, so there's those two paintings. I'm going to drop them down here on the floor and just let them go about drying. And then I'm going to throw you a curveball. Are you ready? Here it comes. Boom. Boom. Look at this. It's called mineral paper. And Pat, let's see. Some of you are saying, gosh, could we go to this event? Let me tell you, this event is, people who belong to this event have a membership in the NAMTA organization, which is National Arts Media, something. And I was told that the membership was $1,000 to $3,000. So I'm going like, well, I'm not going. But I know that they are people where retailers come in and buy from these suppliers. That's why it has a marketing feel to it. So it's kind of a closed door event. And like if Jerry's Artorama needed some of these colors, they'd probably go there and they'd sit down at a table. Every booth has an area where their business people sit and talk, and they work out and arrange art to be shipped out. And like, honestly, some of the brushes that I use here, this paper, by the way, and these papers that I'm going to show you, I love it. I'm going to show you in a second. Well, they tell you what the paper's made with and where the paper was made in Japan before it was shipped into this country. It's really kind of cool. And so this paper here is made from calcium carbonate. What? That's a rock. You know, you got rock, paper, and scissors, right? No, wait, this is a rock into paper. And then I'll take the scissors to it. But the point is that this is acid-free. It has a vellum surface and is bright white. Vellum surface, you know what that means? That means that a fly couldn't light on it, okay? So it's 160 pounds, but it's going to feel much thinner and much more limp than your watercolor paper. It is some freaky feeling paper. It's slick. It feels like this side has a more of a vellum approach. This side over here is slick as glass. So I'm going to paint on the rougher side, if there is a rougher side. There's really not to this. It's actually slicker than the other paper. But here it is. I mean, see what I'm going to do? I'm going to bend this in half here and just rip it. So, and I'll be doing this kind of stuff at the show just to say, okay, maybe I'm not going to rip it. All right, I'm going to open the knife and just cut it. Like I said, I'm going to just open this knife up and cut this paper. I don't know what I'm going to cut with at the show because you know that they're not going to let me get on the airplane with that knife. Okay, but man, that thing is a razor blade. Okay, so here we go. let's use I'm gonna use a pencil on this paper. Because remember, I don't sketch much with a pencil on watercolor, on regular watercolor paper, because I like the way my pens bleed in. But they're not bleeding the same on this paper. So I'm going to use this pencil, and it's not an 05 or, it's not a 3 or a 5 or a 7 millimeter, you know, those little pens that break. It's a 1.3. This is a big old honking piece of graphite coming out of there, okay? So let me just do a little shrimp on this because it's kind of laid out this way. So here's the shrimp head. He's coming out like this. Here's his bottom lip. He's got his head's going up, and he's got, oh, I like that jaw that came out there. That worked out really well. I didn't know I was going to do it that good, but I did it, okay? So, and then you start to show these little body segments that come down. It's big shrimp, okay? So, so if I'm working in the show, I'm going to be, and people have an attention span of a gnat, and so they're standing there going like, hey, what's this guy doing? They don't have all day for me to go, okay, let's do the shrimp. They're going like, I got to go. So I want to take that 15 seconds and knock this shrimp out pretty fast, or whatever it is I'm painting. I want them to be, look, I'm telling you, I need to say, hey, this is interesting because art moves fast, and I'm fast brain, right? Well, I kind of like this shrimp. All right. You know what's going to come around here is big old antennae or feelers. Okay, so look at this. All right, so listen, I have no earthly idea what's going to happen on this piece of paper, but let's get a clean brush. And so I don't know whether to start. In fact, I got to do this. I got to get the other piece here. I'm going to cut it in half too. Man, my knife was so sharp that I cut my under piece of paper there. I'm sure they'll have some scissors in the booth, and Phoebe will be there, and I'll say, Phoebe, rip off a couple pieces of that, and so that's how it'll work. All right. I'm excited about meeting her. I've never met her in person, so that's going to be fun to just say, who are these people? I think I need this to paint the shrimp with. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at this paint. It goes everywhere. Whoa, let's try the backside. I think that's what I'm going to paint on. Okay. So if I turn it over here and paint on the backside. Wow, that's wicked. All right, so this is definitely a different concept of painting. So, all right, that gives me an idea what I got to deal with. Just that much, and I got it. Let me dry this off. Move this back over here and go to it. All right, a little bit of water, just a touch of water, just a touch. Wet the surface, make that paint come in. I'm going to throw a little yellow down here, like so. I think you can see what I'm doing here. It's almost in my big old head, isn't it? There it is right here. If I move over this way, you got it? All right, come in here, a little more. All right, so I'm doing something that you normally don't see me do. What am I doing? I'm mixing over here because I wanted to just have this be a little different as it comes in here. I like it on the pencil. If I'm just going to leave the lines in there, that's kind of cool. Some of that rouge, put it in there. Look at that. That's cool. So see, I'm just guessing at the colors right now. I'm literally guessing. Hey, that looks like that would be good in there. I need a little bit of that shrimp vein. Let's pop in here and get some of that. A little bit of blue. Cut in the mix here. Coming in there. That's cool. How about a little green? You know, they've been under their crustaceans. They feedle on the bottom. A little oxygen, they turn a tad green. Right? The music does make me paint faster. That's crazy. I might have to take, my phone, play myself some music. All right, so I'm going to take this pen and I'm going to go back in on that shrimp. What I'm noticing I'm not getting on this mineral paper, okay, it doesn't mean it's bad. I'm not getting what I like from Cotton Pop. where the colors rest on the surface and get caught in those undulations and just go, we're here. So, but there's this whole style of soft watercolors that some of you do that you may absolutely go, this is my paper. I would do this. So it's all about your style. It's all about your style. It's all about your style, okay? My mother, she called me by 3 names. It's pretty serious. So I just repeated that 3 times so you would understand that every paper and every paint is not for every artist. It's all about your, okay. All right. Love it, love it, love it when it starts to happen. A little orange here. Pop this in. That'll make him pop just a little more. And he's dry. It's going to be fun to see how he dries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make some marks here, and I'm just going to let him dry a little bit. I love this orange mingling with this blue. I like this right here. I like a little bit of this red coming in right here. I like these feelers coming out in a little orange. He's beginning to pop a little more, so I'm going to let that dry a little bit and come back to it. I'm going to try another piece of paper, and I'm going to go, somebody remind me if I'm going to write shrimp. Yeah, I'm that guy. I don't write it down to remember it later. I write it down to remember it now, as the field notes people say. Okay, but I do like this pen coming in on top and making these little lines in here just a little darker. I like that. I like the bleed of this pen. It's a little too wet. I'd have to let it dry a little bit more, but I'm getting there. That's a pretty cool little shrimp. Look, if you came to an art show and somebody said, hey, hope you love this product, it's yours, go frame it, and they would say, dang, I'm on that, like a herd of turtles, or faster. All right. Wow, where's the time go? Man, this day's cranking through, huh? All right, look at all the paper they sent me as samples. Okay, here is a whole envelope of paper, and I gotta tell you, not only have I never used any of this paper, I don't even know how to pronounce this paper. So, but they sent me 3 big samples, so I'll work on that later today. And some of it, I'm going to say, stay with ink. Some of it says it's for ink. Some of it says it's for watercolor. This is the coolest folder if I could ever get in it. There it is right there. Okay, so that's going there. Whoops. All right, I want to make sure this lays flat. Let me lay this over here and let it lay flat. I'm liking this shrimp already, to tell you the truth. You know what? I might surprise myself. I might come back from Orlando saying, you're going to have to love some of this. You're going to have to love some of this. All right, so this is the paper I'm going to do next. It's called Torinoko. And so I'm sure it's pronounced differently than this, but for me, the English pronunciation of this would be Torinoko. Okay, so it's lightly sized. What that means is it's got a little bit of a covering on it, so it will hold watercolor, collage, and printmaking. All right. Then there's always a cool little place right here that says it's made in this district, and they're known for this. It's pulp-based paper. You can detail in ink painting, watercolor, or what's called suminagashi, which is basically Japanese marbling. And that's cool, by the way, if you've never seen that done. So at printmaking, and it holds up the watercolor washes with minimal wrinkling. So I'm going like, okay, let's try a piece of that. So this is the paper, if you want to write it down. It's called Torinoko. Torinoko. Toridon, I think they refer to it as something else, but I'll know all of this early next week. Starting tomorrow night, I'll actually know some of this. So I'm going to pull a piece of this out. Once again, it's very thin. What that means is it's going to run through your copy machine if you were printing on, or if you were doing printing. It's got one side that feels like rice paper, and it's got one side that's slick. I'm going to paint on the side that feels like rice paper. I think what's going to happen is these colors are going to blow out kind of, I'm guessing. But I think these colors are going to sort of blow out, kind of washed out a little bit. But let's just see what they do. Let's just go with this pen. All right, so here we go. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Jason Nicholas, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Hey man, I love where you're going with the sea paintings. You're taking me on a journey. I'm loving it. So thank you. And listen, a couple of you folks, Gemma, Jensen, your art in the last few days has just been off the chain. Some of you that you just go, whoa, that's pretty impressive. So keep plowing, people. Keep plowing. All right, here we go. So here's what I'm painting on. Once again, it's Torinoco. It's high quality Japanese paper. It's made for watercolor, collage, printmaking. Has a slick backing to keep ink and all from going. I think ink would just be unbelievable on this paper. In fact, I might just do something in ink here. Watch this. I'm just going to draw this rooster that I draw looking back, kind of like I drew a minute ago. One of my favorite little roos to draw here. He's like that. I'm going to just stop right there and let the rest of this kind of happen. We'll come down here with this foot. And I think I'm going to bring this foot up here like he's walking. And he's got that leg cocked back a little bit like that. It's coming out. So he looks like he's standing. My dad would always say, you've heard me say this before. He'd say, son, you know why a rooster stands on one foot? And I go, no, Dad. Why does a rooster stand on one foot? And he goes, because he's holding the other one up, son. Oh, boy. When you're 9 years old, you're going, that's funny. I got to run out to the road here, the fence line, to tell Charles Dennis he was my cousin. Hey, I'm opening the lid on some Suni ink. Let's see if this works on this paper, okay? So there it is. Music just doesn't sound like something you're going to be doing ink prints with, though. Oh, that's what I'm looking for right there. Okay, here we go. Just going to drag some clean water in. Just dragging some clean water in here and letting it just touch the surface. I'm treating this right now like I would any watercolor paper that I've ever painted on. I know no better. So I'll learn if my style fits on this paper, or do I have to choose different ink, different concepts, different paper. So I'll figure that out in a minute. All right, here we go. Watch close. I'm going to dip this into the ink and just touch a little bit right here and right here. I was right. I could feel it in the paper. It's going to hit that water and run away. It's like that scene in Monty Python, the Holy Grail, where they're sending those cows over the wall. Run away! Did you see that ink take off? Oh my gosh, I love this. Man, that made my day right there. Okay, so see, that was worth my own price of admission. I'd come back to see that again. So, I want to go in here and just grab a little of this yellow, and I want to punch this in just a little bit right there. I'm going to take some of that out, and I'm going to, see that? What happened? Turned it into the perfect yellow. I'm going to take a little bit of orange red, put it in here, just a little bit. I don't want much color in this roux, and I want some of this to come in on the legs right here. Okay, this was the Torinoco paper. I'm loving it. How fun was that? Oh, come on. That rocks. What if I just took this pencil and did this with the pencil? And then use the first brush that God ever gave me, this one, and just darken some lines in there. Maybe come in with a little more shadow here. I'm digging on this pencil. It feels like it's probably about a 3 or 4. It's soft, but I like it. I like it. Mikey likes it. I'm a crazy person. Dang, I like this rooster. He rocks. Ooh, I like it a lot. Okay, let's grab this. Just give him a little bit of blue splatter around whatever's left in this brush. Maybe a tad more blue up in the sky. Enough blue to make cat britches. Maybe a little brown swash down here in the dirt. Maybe a little dirt underneath him. I got to have one little piece of green in there somewhere, just because I want some balance of the earth. Harold King says, I feel the earth move under my feet. All right. Somebody said something takes a long time to dry. I'm not sure because you guys are talking about the price of rice in China. Could you please take a minute and make a full color chart so we can see each color? Deborah Spangler, I might could do just that here in just a second, okay? I will do that. I was actually going to do that at the show, but I will see if I can get to some of it right now. Okay. Again in slow-mo. Yeah, I'd like to see that in slow motion. What's the name of that pencil? The pencil is called the Artist. Okay, careful now. It's called the Artist Pencil. It was, and they just threw it in here. It actually says made in Korea, so I don't know if it has any other name on it. But I'll get some information and I'll put it out on the show later. Okay. All right. All right. I'm just going to throw that down and grab another piece of. I'm going to grab another piece of paper. Okay. That is fun paper. Let's see what this one is. Here's another one that I got to practice on today, and then I'll get to a color piece for you, okay? And I'll just wrap up. I'm here for several hours today just doing this, so I thought you guys might get a kick out of it. So if you got to go, you got to go. You're here. This is called asagami paper. It's hemp. It is sized, S-I-Z-E-D. That doesn't mean it's cut. That means it has a coating on it to hold paint. High quality, it says, for photocopies, watercolor, and gansai paintings, which I have no idea what those are. It was made down in Ehime, E-H-I-M-E, Ehime Prefecture. Ehime is known for producing authentic, high-quality Japanese paper. It's acid-free. It's used for, they use it for legal documents, for copy paper, for watercolor. So we'll see how it holds watercolor. I think this one, of course, is probably, once again, oh, so it's asagama. Asagama. I guess I'll be learning some Japanese words before I come back. Here's the back side, which I kind of like. I think I want to paint on the back side of this one. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to rip this piece in half too. Remember, to do good art, you have to... oh, that's a great job right there. I'm glad I folded that. How'd I do? All right, look. I'm going to call this the back. I'm going to call this the front. Okay, so there. I'm going to paint on the front first with just 3 colors. Here they go. Boom. Boom. And boom. A little more water in each. And then I'm just going to blow them together. We'll see what they do. It's kind of interesting. I think it's really, this is what I call the front. It's the slicker side. And that's probably the back, but it is what it is. Okay, so I think we could probably come in here and see that what's forming is a fish. You see him right there? Okay, so there's a clownfish coming out of this. There's his eye. Here's his wing gill down here. There's his fin up there. And of course, I'd have to put him a tail back here like this. And so I'd have a fish that came out of that. You see the fish? All right. So that's what you have to do sometimes. And what we could do is then we could create a little bit of a green tail on the fish, just throwing that extra color. Maybe I could have gotten some of the yellow here and created that. And then I put some scales in there, and I suddenly just painted this cool little fish. Okay, so there he is. So you can see more like this. People are going, I don't see a fish. I just see a bunch of paper. There he is. He's swimming this way. There's his eye, and there's his lip, and there's the fish. All right, let me turn the back side around. So this is the front. This is the back, front, back. The reason I'm telling this is slick as glasses, has a little bit of tooth to it. And so I'm just practicing. That's all I got to do with this paper today. I've got to know, oh, man, this is grabbing the paint. Okay, so I'm going to be a fan of the back of this paper. We'll put the yellow here. Let's see, just if I can get something down there. Come on, paint. Just drop in there like you're supposed to. And then I wanted a little bit of blue. Use the same 3 colors. I'm going to put the blue up here on this one. Just random. I'm going to have people come by the booth and just do this and throw it in there. And then I'm just going to say, okay, grab your straw. We'll have a whole thing of straws and say blow on it. Oh, and then there's another fish. I love it. So we'll just do a whole series of fish. And I don't even do fish, but I'm thinking this might be fun to do some. There he's coming like this. This would be a bird though, coming in for a landing. Look at that right there. I just painted this cool bird. And he's got a little bit of a beak right here, and he's got a bird eye right here. And so he's going after a little grasshopper here. All right, so this is kind of fun stuff that I'll just do. So there's a little bird going after a grasshopper. And if this is too much in this green here, watch this. I can just go get in here. He says, watch this. He's never even done this before. That's why I'm dangerous. But I like it. Look at that. And then I'll come in here and draw his legs in like so. And so this is called working without a net, people. And that's it. I like the back. So see, made a note on this paper, which is the asagami. I'm going to work with the toothed side, which is probably the front. But I'll figure that out when I get there and go, oh, that's the side you're supposed to paint on. I didn't know. Okay, but I know now. So, and I'm not going in there like a know-it-all. I'm going in saying, you know why you should be interested in these supplies is because I don't have any experience with them. Ta-da, I'm here. All right, this is kind of a cool little bird. Look at him. There he is right there, see? That's a cool little birdie going after a grasshopper. I need some green right here. Let me just steal some green right here and paint my little grasshopper green. There he is right there. And let's come in with a little bit of a brown underneath him. And let's do some grasshopper weeds in there. Grab a little of this. If you're not playing with your art, you're not having fun, okay? Not the same with food. Quit playing with your food and eat it. But art, you can't play with it. Okay. All right. That's pretty fun right there. I like this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken this bill up just a little bit, like beak. And now I have my bird for sure, you see him? Okay. All right, I'm going back to a fuller page, and then I have a few more minutes I'm going to stay on this morning. Let me focus this. Boom. And go there. Okay. All right. So this little fish goes to the down the bunny trail. My trash can is going to have to go out. I'm going to keep this bird because I want my granddaughter to see it. Just that it's just 3 splatters, and suddenly you have this making of this cool little fish bird. All right. So I'm going to lay that down here. Let it dry. And then here is a rundown. Here's the problem with doing a sample, because even though you see them, I don't know what the names of them are. So it's not like I can really say, oh, this is this and this and this. But I'm going to do it on this piece of, I'm going to do it here on this piece of, what I call this? Torinoko paper. And I'm going to do it on the side that has more of the tooth. So here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to run down my palette. There they are. And I'm going to run them down here. So I'm going to go left to right and then left to right again. I'm going to go this way. Left to right, down, left to right, down. Got that? All right, here we go. And I'm going to use the same brush, clean brush each time. Here is the first color. Oops, I just used too much. All right, clean it out. Here is the second color. I think that may have hit the red a little bit. Here's the third color. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Okay, I'm jumping this color because I have it here. I haven't switched it out yet. So this will be the next color. I'm jumping that color too. That color is going to be gone. Remember the third, I made a note earlier to remove that color. I do like this color here. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. And here's the last one. So there is my colors from here. There's how it works. Okay? All right. So there's my colors. Those are the ones that I chose out of all of these. Now, let's just waste another piece of paper here. That's what paper's for. And let's see how this, see what's left in the bin here. Let me just do a little slide to see what's left here. Can you see that? Okay, here we go. Something fishy with his new supplies. All right, here we go. Here is, here's a sweet blue. Wow, that's a sweet blue right there. That's a sky blue that I might have to put in. Here is a cobalt blue. That's kind of cool. There's a Payne's gray blue. That's cool. Maybe I spoke too soon. Look at that purple. Rock and roll. All right. I'm sure Karen picked these out. And Karen likes painting whimsical birds and all sorts of things. And flowers. She loves flowers. Some of these would be beautiful. That color right there is, ooh, that's rock and roll. I like that color. Okay, so boom, boom, I got it. This color here is more of a, oh, is that color? Oh, same color. Okay, so I had some duplicates, which I thought we probably would. They just wanted to fill these trays for me and send them so that I could pick out what I wanted. That's a duplicate. This looks like a duplicate. Well, she got some blues in here. This looks like lemon yellow, most certainly. It's a little too frou-frou for me. That's a nice green. I already have one. That's a nice Payne's blue, which looks like that blue to me. So that's a repeat color. Here's a green. That's kind of a, I don't know what color that is. Here's my, oh, that's a yellow. Okay, great. I got some yellows. Here's, that's a brown. I got that. And here is a purple. Okay, so I see this color and this blue that I'll switch out and put into my pad for those other two colors. So there's the colors that they shipped. I don't know how many more they make, but that'll give you an idea of what's in there. Here's the thing. I think you can probably, I think the time will come when you could know the names of those. By the way, take a look at this on mineral paper and this on watercolor paper. Okay? So now you see which one's popping the most. But this, remember, is it's 100% cotton, but it's been pressed a little harder than the paper that I normally paint on. It'll take me a little while to get used to it. All right? And you know what I did? I spilled some paint on here. I got to show you this drawing. Look at this. This looks like Aunt Fidget Wonkum Strong from How Tom Beat Captain Najork in The Hired Sportsman. There's her nose. It comes down like that. And there's her lips and her chin. Oh my gosh, this is Aunt Fidget Wonkum Strong, who where she walked, the flowers cried, and when she, look at that. You see that? That was a spilled piece of paint. That's Aunt Fidget Wonkum Strong. Do I have her book up here? If you ever find this book online and you want to read a fun book to your grandkids, find Russell Hoban's book. You see, mine's brand new. Can you tell? When did I get this book? Well, I was living in Weaverville, North Carolina, so it had to be, it was produced in 1974. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, it's 48 years old this year. Here's Aunt Fidget Wonkum Strong. See, when I saw that drawing, I went, she looks like Aunt Fidget Wonkum Strong. And I just spilled this little paint on this. Tom lived with his maiden aunt, Miss Fidget Wonkum Strong, and when she wore an iron hat and she took no nonsense from anyone, where she walked the flowers drooped, and when she sang all the trees shivered. But Tom lived with her. But Tom liked to fool around. You know why I own this book, right? He fooled around with sticks and stones and crumbled paper and muses and passages and dustbins and bent nails and broken glass and holes in fences. And he fooled around with mud and he stomped through it and he squelched and he slithered through it. Anyway, he fooled around on high things. It goes on and on and on. And she said, stop fooling around or I'm going to send up the river for Captain Najork and his hired sportsmen, and they're going to come to town and teach you a lesson. But Tom did not stop. He did a little fool around with 2 or 3 cigar bands and a paper clip. And at dinner, she said, stop She said, eat your mutton and your cabbage and potato salad. All right, said Tom, and he ate it. And after dinner, she said, now learn off of pages 65 to 75 of the Nautical Almanac, and that'll teach you not to fool around. All right, said Tom, and he learned them off, but he never stopped fooling around. All right, it's a great book. Just a fun little book about kids and play. It's called How Tom Beat Captain Najork and His Hired Sportsman. I am amiss that I haven't told you about this book in the last 3 years. Oh, my gosh. I paid $1.90. No, actually, this was given to me. I've probably bought 50 of these books and given them away to friends when they have their first child. It went out of print in the late 80s, early 90s, and I found a copy that was $650. And I said, okay, I got to find another book. And then somebody started reprinting it. The second one's come out by another guy. It's not as good. So don't purchase it. But the first one, there you go. See? Old as me, Heather says. Shoot. Do you think I would tear it if I used a mineral paper and tape it down when I paint? I don't think you can tear it. I had to cut it. But you know why I don't tape my paper down. Tape it on something that you can move. If you're going to tape it to a board. If you're going to tape your paper down, tape it to a board so you can move your board and paint it like this. Don't tape it to a table where you can't reach around and paint like this. Don't do that, okay? That's some don'ts. I don't hardly ever say don'ts, but it makes it awkward for you. By the way, it takes it a long time to dry. It's not going to be like normal watercolor paper. It's going to linger and hang out there. And so you're going to have to just let it. And by the way, also, lots of by the ways, it's going to create some hard lines because it's going to show shadows and running. If you like that in your watercolor paper, you're going to love this paper. If you don't, you got to go back to traditional watercolor paper. It's about your style. Okay. Hey, I didn't have a time to, I guess I could take all the time I want. I'm not going anywhere, but I took a side road there. There's another piece of paper that is absolutely rice paper. It's called mashi, and it really is better for ink painting because I ripped a little piece of it off. I cut a piece. I didn't rip it off last night. And so these colors, here's what I'm going to do later today. I've got to crack this box open. What did I do with my knife? I'm going to have to leave it home. It's probably just a little large to take with me. But I noticed that, did I get the kit or what? Did I even get ones that don't have the names on them? I love it, man. I love it when they send you a new product and go, hey, put your own label on there. Okay. So that's kind of fun. I'm going to just grab 3 colors here real quick. If you want to stay on for a little bit, please stay on. Those of you that have to run on. Thank you for being on the show today. I'm going to keep going. I'm just doing a demo on these products, and I thought some of you would love to see it, and so that's what I'm doing. Call it a little the University of Roo. Okay? Roo U. I need a sip of tea, and I will finish doing this demo. And some of this demo I'm going to go into deeper with a little more knowledge in a couple weeks or in the next class that I have about product. I'm also going to do a post from the show where we are. So I asked Carol to hold the phone and she can see it. I'm going to take this red. I'm going to take this, whatever it is. It looks like yellow. I don't even know what this color feels like when it comes out. Oh, okay. I don't know if you have to shake them up. I don't know anything about this, but I'm going to try these 3 right here. Maybe this yellow we'll add in and we'll see. Okay. All right. I've got these 3 colors. I'm going to take those and I'm going to put them in a pan. Let's just put them right here. Here, this is American Journey paint. So let's just do this. So these are called, one more time, just so you're with me, watercolor. Okay. Niji watercolor or aquarella is basically water, but it's watercolor. So these are their 15 colors they sent for me to use. I'm going to put a little red in here. Let's see what it looks like. Never seen it before. Whoa, man, I like it. Okay, this is a little blue. Ooh, so far I'm looking like, hey, now the man is waking up to the type of paint that he's familiar with. And that looks a little squirrely. Yeah, I think I'm getting the oil and not the paint. Why is that? Okay, there we go. I don't know how that's going to paint, but if I need a little extra yellow, I pull some out. So there's the three colors that I chose. I would assume this would be vermilion. So this is vermilion. This is called probably Prussian blue as opposed to cobalt, the lighter blue. And this is called yellow ochre, okay? And there's also yellow chrome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this yellow chrome and I'm going to push it down in here. There we go. So that's some of the yellow chrome. It came out, the yellow ochre came out a little funky. And I'm going to go get a piece of that, where is it? Uh-oh. What did I do with the paper? I'm going to get a piece of this and we'll try it on this again. All right. I don't know how many sheets are in here. Don't care. I just got to learn it today. I'll pack some in my briefcase and take it with me. All right. So I'm going to paint on this. No. Yeah, Tornico. That's what I used. And so I said I'm going to paint on, which side did I like? Yeah, let's try it on this side right here. I should have used the mineral paper, but I'm going to try the Tornico, and I'm going to paint it on this side this time to see what happens. All right, here we go. Just going to put some water down there, and I'm going to go grab some of this red, which is vermilion. They're calling it vermilion, so I'm going to just throw it in there like this. Man, this is going to paint like my watercolors from you know where. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. I'm loving this already. Wow, look at that paint go. And then let's try this two different colors of yellow. There's that'd be a great little leg for my chicken right there. There he is right there. Whee! You didn't think I was going to get a chicken out of this, did you? Well, of course I am. Okay. There's his beak right there. All right. I'm going to come in here and get a little of this red. And put his. Then I'm going to come in here and get his. Oh my gosh! Look at that. I'm going to take some of this and come in here like so, and I'm going to take some of this yellow and make a beautiful little green to build his body up right here. And then I'm going to go back and get some more of this blue and come up here and put an eye right there, a little piece. Run this red on up into here. Might come in with a pen and build up a little bit of this. I'm liking this. I'm liking it a lot. I like it a lot. All right, let's come in here. Let's come out here with another leg like so. And I've got to have some grass underneath him here. Here's a little bit of grass coming down. And so I like this paint. All right, just for fun, before I go, let's do this. That was with three colors, by the way. So you can see how fast that jumped off there. They look more intense than regular watercolors. Yeah, it could be. There's a lot of intensity in vermilion, but vermilion will pop and other. You realize too, I painted on the, here, one more section here. Come on. Let's take one more piece. I got to make a note here. I know what this is. It's Tornico. All right, so this time I painted on the slick side. This time I'm going to paint on the not so slick side, okay? So it has a tooth to it. So same paper, just turned it over. So here we go again. Okay, I'm going to throw down some of this paint here. We'll just do a similar thing. Still looking pretty bold. Okay, a little more water in the middle there. It doesn't blow out as fast, so the water is holding on a little tighter. I can see that already. But it's got some great color to it. Wow, I think I'm going to love those paints right there. Let's do a little bit of a beak here, like so. Come in with some of this yellow ochre. I'm going to have to adapt my yellow a little bit. I could be happier with my yellow, I think. So I will figure out what I'm going to do to make that yellow rock a little bit more. There we go. And then give him some undercarriage here of these two yellows. Maybe I just treat it with a little bit of orange like this. That's what I'll do. And I'll create the feet like that. Pull this piece over here. Oh, that caught onto my brush because that's that piece that spit out of the tube the first time. Remember, these have been stored and shipped to me, so who knows if they've been worked and wakened. And there you go. Just three colors. Take a look. Let's put a little green in there. Let's add a little bit of this and add it here just to get some A little bit of green coming underneath there. And then a little bit of green down here. Okay. All right. This vermilion right here is not giving me the darkness that I want, so I liked it better when it had the blue in it. So now I'm going to come in there with the blue on top of that and come back, and that'll give me a little darker red right there. Come in with my pen. You know, if I didn't throw stuff across the desk, my life would probably be a little quicker. Wait, I'm painting pretty fast as it is. And then I'd come in and do the details. So that gives you a couple of rundowns. I will tell you this. Here's what you notice already. Get ready. I'm going to show you. This is how you learn, folks. This is how I learn too. You know, I learn like the rest of you. I don't know this stuff, and I'm saying like, oh, guess what you can learn from me? I'm learning it right now too. Take a look. The back of this is jumping off the page, okay? I mean, this is a lot. There's a lot of water here. It's going to take this a long time to dry, but it is... it's brighter. I'll be fun to see how these go. I like this though. This is pretty typical watercolor look. This has more of a hot press watercolor look that stays really bright. Sometimes hot press will dissolve on you and go a little softer, but this so far is staying really bright and crisp, and I'm liking it. And this is what I call the back of that paper. Okay, the Torinoko. 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 And I don't know what that means, but I will find out. Okay, it probably means faster than, who was it said, Roadrunner. All right, so there's a white in here. There's a, okay, so there we go. So that's what you saw demoed this morning. There it is, folks. And you know I'm not going to put these on, right? That ain't going to happen. Okay, I don't have time for that. I'm going to let these dry, though, while I go make another cup of tea. This one's probably a little chilled. It's not bad, but I'm going to let these dry, and then I'm going to come back and see how I like them, and I'll make some notes here and go from there. This is a little bit like a pheasant feather, but man, you know what? Look at this stuff roll around here. Good grief. This really is kind of cool. So it paints very much like ink on this paper. All right, so had some fun playing today. This was fun. Thank you for the time. You really inspired me to keep pushing here. I would have slowed down and just kind of moped around, but tail power. Hippie rooster. Okay, funky chicken. I am in mad scientist mode. Okay, so mode. All right. Wow, bright and might. I like that. So yes, those of you who just joined me know this. For the last 12 years, I have only painted with American Journey paints. They come in tubes, and I squeeze them into my own half pans. The colors that I chose. I started with 3 colors. Those of you who are painting with me on Patreon, I'm pushing you to get better with ink and then add just a little bit of color, okay? I'm going to show you the 2 roosters that I did earlier, too, if you're still hanging on. I take the tube colors from American Journey and I squeeze them in here, and I know how bright these are. I know how light fast they are because I've learned that over a period of 10 or 12 years, even before I started doing this online. And so this is my messy palette that I've painted thousands and thousands, more than 5,000 roosters out of, okay? And now paint some shrimp and stuff. I'm going to Orlando to paint for Yasutomo. And there's a couple of things happening here I will tell you about. And I'm going there to paint in their booth. And so I'm using Niji colors that they've sent me. And I've picked out the top. I'm going to switch 2 of these out, but I've picked out the colors that I'm going to take in this cool little container. And they'll have paper there for me. I'm using small, regular watercolor paper. That's 140 pound, hard press, hot press, and cold press. But it's made by Niji. You know, it's probably shipped from a paper company somewhere in who knows where. I don't know where it's been made or where they've shipped it in from. Probably in Asia, China. I'm not sure. But the point is that I will paint on some of their specialty papers that normal people who paint with Asian brushes and bamboo brushes paint usually ink on. And I did like the one that I did in ink today. And I'm going to try that on this. I can't wait to try it on this other paper, too. I can't wait to try it on the mineral paper. And so maybe this wasn't mineral paper, but it was the back side. I'm going to try the other side. And there's that painting right there. Remember, I just put the water on there and let the ink run, and here it is dried. Light color, just enough to go, ooh, I like that. Framed correctly, this would be good. What I like here is that on the back side of this, or maybe this is the front side, this is the back, I will find out. You know, they're not marked. I like the way these colors are blending, and they're reminding me more of my watercolor style that I love, where I don't mix paint in the palette, but I just let it mix on the paper. This is still more of a hot press paper that's leaving some hard edges, mushroomed but hard edges, and I think it's going to dry that way, but it's still staying very, very bright. Okay, so I'm learning that. Here's the other two paintings that I did. Let me get them up out of the floor and show you. This is the mineral paper here, and there's the shrimp. Okay, and you see where it, when it laid it down, it ran down here. So you've got to lay it flat if you want it to dry, or if you want some of the dark edges around the bottom, you can tip it up, and this paint will move down in this direction. So that's the shrimp on mineral paper. It's calcium something. What did I tell you it was? So sorry. I should know this. Calcium carbonate. Why did I not know that? It's a rock. Okay, so it's quarried. All right, so that's that. This is the rooster that I did on the cold press. And this is the rooster. That's not true. Hot press, cold press. Pretty typical. Kind of like what's happening here. Here's the thing. I'll say this and then I'll go. I love Cheap Joe's paint on Cheap Joe's paper because those two pop. But I will tell you this Niji paper on this Niji paint on this paper pops. My style requires sometimes for things to go, bam, it's coming off the wall. That's the way my roosters are. They're farm bards. They're storytellers. Here is the little bird that I did on a piece of asagama paper. It's almost like rice paper, and I just put some there and blew it. And this was out of the little piece. I haven't tried this paint on here today, and that's what I'll do. I'll just keep going, and I'll just keep making mistakes, and I will just fail for 3 days in the show, and I'll make stuff as I go. I'm encouraging you to do that. That's what art is all about. Hey, if you know about supporting me in Patreon and you haven't yet, and you want to do that, it's an inside straight to some of the things that I learned today. I wanted to fill it out to the whole show, but we'll be doing a Bible thing on its own page, and that's just journaling through the Gospel of Matthew. And then also I'll be doing a class once a month called Think Like an Artist, and that's for people who register through Patreon, and it's a whole whopping $11.57 a month, and that gives me time to sit down like this and experiment and then bring that to you, so you can say, hey, have you thought of this? Did you know this? Or I didn't like that pen for this reason, or the end breaks off of that, or because I tear up a lot of supplies. And my dear friends at Trader Joe's and Yasutomo sometimes will send me some stuff to just say, try it and tell us what you like and you don't like. We're listening, and we're listening to your community. Thank you for being a community that hangs out with me and Roo, and I appreciate it much. So there you go. Educational show this morning. Thanks, John Robert Small. Fail it forward, Jason Nicholas says. I love it, man. All right. Blessings to you all. Like a herd of turtles, I am out of here. And so I should go out on just some song that says, see you later. Mickey Perkins says, don't know if the, and look, I'm not pushing you to the class. I'm just telling you it's out there. It's my job now to say, hey, is there a class? Heck yeah, there's a class. Okay, so turtles are coming in. I've lost my harmonica. No, here it is right here. Didn't have an orchestra, couldn't afford the orchestra, so I used this to go out. Oh my gosh, guess where I'm off to? To get a piece of Scottish shortbread that Carol baked with a cherry jam on top. Okay, yes, I'm that guy. might as well end the same way. If you haven't been in touch with someone today and just text them a note of value and hope and peace, take a sip right now and do it as soon as we hang up, okay?